Argentina have now reached the semifinal of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Argentina have beaten Cape Verde, Egypt, and Switzerland in consecutive knockout matches, each one closer than the last, each one requiring extra time, and each one featuring at least one VAR decision that left the opposing side furious, devastated, and publicly questioning the integrity of the officiating at this tournament. Argentina head coach Lionel Scaloni stood in front of reporters at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, after Saturday's 3-1 extra-time victory over Switzerland, and said something that no World Cup winning coach has ever said after advancing through a quarterfinal. Lionel Scaloni said 4 words that no World Cup winning coach has ever said after a quarterfinal win. Luck was on our side. Stay with this, because what happened at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, on Saturday, July 12, 2026, is not just another chapter in Argentina's controversial World Cup campaign. It is the chapter that turned a pattern into something undeniable. It is the chapter that made Switzerland's coach say that a VAR decision destroyed his team's game. It is the chapter that made Switzerland's midfielder Remo Freuler call the referee a disaster. And it is the chapter that made Breel Embolo, Switzerland's most important attacking player, the man who had equalized to level the match 1-1 with Switzerland growing in confidence, walk off the pitch at Kansas City Stadium in tears, red card in hand, sent off for a decision that even Argentina's own coach acknowledged was fortunate. To understand exactly what happened to Switzerland at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri on Saturday, July 12th, you need to understand how the 17-second minute of the Argentina versus Switzerland quarterfinal actually unfolded. Because the sequence of events in those 3 minutes is unlike anything that has happened in World Cup history before. Switzerland striker Breel Embolo was moving through the Argentina midfield at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City in the 71st minute when he went to ground under a challenge from Argentina midfielder Leandro Paredes. Referee João Pedro Silva Pinheiro of Portugal assessed the incident in real time at Kansas City Stadium and made his decision. He showed Paredes a yellow card for the challenge on Embolo. Play resumed at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City. Then VAR official Guillermo Pacheco Larios intervened from the VAR control room and recommended that referee João Pinheiro return to the pitch side monitor to review the incident for mistaken identity, a new law introduced at the 2026 FIFA World Cup that allows VAR to intervene when there is clear video evidence that a referee has shown a yellow or red card to the wrong player. Referee João Pinheiro walked to the pitch side monitor at Kansas City Stadium and reviewed the footage. What the footage showed, and what most analysts who reviewed it subsequently agreed with, was that Breel Embolo had gone to ground before Paredes made contact with him. Embolo had initiated the fall. Under the 2026 World Cup rules, that constituted simulation. The referee rescinded Paredes' yellow card. He showed the yellow card to Embolo instead. Breel Embolo was already on a yellow card. A second yellow card meant a red card. Breel Embolo, Switzerland's most dangerous forward, the player who had been Switzerland's biggest attacking threat all tournament, the man who had scored 3 goals at this World Cup, was sent off at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, with 18 minutes of normal time remaining and the score level at 1-1. Breel Embolo was in tears as he walked off the pitch at Kansas City Stadium. His teammates surrounded him. His coaching staff could barely speak, and Switzerland, who had been level on the scoreboard and growing in confidence after Dan Ndoye's equalizer in the 67th minute, now had to defend with 10 men against the defending world champions for the remainder of normal time and potentially extra time as well. Argentina scored twice in extra time at Kansas City Stadium, Julian Alvarez with a world-class long-range strike in the 112th minute, Lautaro Martinez adding a third in the final minutes to win 3-1 and advance to the World Cup semi-final. Switzerland coach Murat Yakin did not hold back in his assessment of what had happened at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City after the final whistle. "It's completely not understandable," Yakin said. "I know that they will protect their referee, but this rule destroyed the game today." Murat Yakin identified the moment specifically, not the sending off as an isolated incident, but the broader context in which it occurred. For a situation where beforehand there should have been yellow cards several times, he gave a yellow card in a situation that, to me, was a harmless foul, or if it was even a foul at all. First of all, for me there was not a single reason to give the Argentine player a yellow card. He simply should have let play continue. Yakin then said something that connected Saturday's events at Kansas City Stadium directly to everything FIFA has been dealing with at this tournament for 3 weeks. This is a rule that, in my opinion, has nothing to do with football. The fact that they introduced such a rule is just unnecessary. Switzerland midfielder Remo Freuler was even more direct about the officiating at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City after the match. "It's just a disaster," Freuler said. "I don't know what the referee is doing here. I don't understand why they call him for a situation like this, because there are many fouls like this in the first half. I don't understand how VAR can change a game with this situation. Just let the referee do his thing." Switzerland defender Nico Elvedi, speaking to reporters at Kansas City Stadium after the final whistle, was brief and devastating. "I just don't understand how VAR can make that kind of decision," Elvedi said. Now here is the detail about the Embolo red card at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City that separates this VAR controversy from every other at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Most analysts who reviewed the Embolo incident at Kansas City Stadium believe the VAR decision was correct. Breel Embolo did appear to go to ground before Leandro Paredes made contact at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City. The simulation appeared real. The mistaken identity protocol was applied correctly under the new IFAB rules that FIFA introduced for this tournament. ESPN's VAR review panel concluded that Embolo has only himself to blame, as this was a clear attempt to deceive the referee. The national news noted that replays confirmed that VAR made the right call. Even Switzerland's own coach acknowledged after the match at Kansas City Stadium that Embolo was devastated, but stopped short of saying the red card itself was wrong. His fury was directed at the rule, not the specific application of it, and yet Switzerland's coach called it a disaster. Switzerland's midfielder called it incomprehensible. Switzerland's captain, Granit Xhaka, said the dressing room at Kansas City Stadium was very quiet, disappointed, and that the decision was difficult to accept. And Argentina's own head coach, Lionel Scaloni, the man whose team benefited from the sending off, publicly said that luck had been on Argentina's side. That is the precise nature of FIFA's Argentina problem at the 2026 World Cup in July 2026. Not that the decisions are wrong, not that the referees are corrupt, but that a pattern of decisions has been so consistently favorable to one team across 4 consecutive knockout matches. Egypt's goal cancelled at Atlanta Stadium in Atlanta, Switzerland's player sent off at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City, Paredes' yellow rescinded at the same match, all following a sequence that also included the Balogun red card against the United States being reversed following a phone call from Donald Trump. That even when a call is technically correct, the atmosphere of suspicion at this tournament is so thick that nobody can simply accept it. Argentina manager Lionel Scaloni, standing in the corridor outside the dressing room at Kansas City Stadium after his team's 3-1 extra-time victory over Switzerland, was asked by reporters whether he felt Argentina had deserved to win. Scaloni paused. "Luck was on our side," he said, "but we take it." The 2026 FIFA World Cup semifinal between Argentina and England takes place on Wednesday, July 15th, 2026, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. It is the first time these two nations have met at a World Cup since Mexico City in 1986. It is the first time they have met in a competitive match since Argentina won on penalties at the 2006 World Cup in Germany. And it is the first time they will meet since Diego Maradona punched the ball into the net at the Estadio Azteca, what he called the hand of God. And the world spent 40 years arguing about it. England arrive at the Argentina versus England semifinal at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, having benefited from the Cam of God controversy against Norway at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Argentina arrive at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, having benefited from 4 consecutive knockout matches in which the major officiating decisions have gone their way. And FIFA's tournament, the most commercially successful in the sport's history, the first with 48 teams, the one Gianni Infantino called the greatest sporting event in human history, arrives at its most anticipated match of the entire competition, trailing a cloud of suspicion so heavy that even Argentina's own coach acknowledged it at his post-match press conference at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City. Argentina's luck was on their side, and on Wednesday, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, at a World Cup semifinal between England and Argentina 40 years after the hand of God, that sentence is going to echo across every conversation, every broadcast, every social media post, and every argument between football fans around the world, whether FIFA likes it or not. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Argentina deserved to be in the semifinal? And do you believe the VAR decisions at this World Cup have been consistent? I want to hear both sides.